everyone. Welcome back to From the World to Mānoa. I appreciate all of you joining me. Last week it was spring break for UH. I apologize. I was in France, so instead of an episode, we posted a travel video I had made. Before we jump into this episode, I just wanted to take a second and thank my colleagues with UHMTV for supporting both me and this show. They've been incredibly amazing, and I really appreciate them. I also wanted to ask all of you to please like my content. And if you have a minute, give me some feedback on how these episodes have been going so far. Let me know if there are things you want to hear, some questions I might be missing that you want me to ask. I'd greatly appreciate it. This show is about learning about people all around us that might have a different culture, lifestyle, and perspective than we do, while merging our backgrounds and learning in the process. And while you're at it, please go subscribe to our UHMTV channels and keep an eye out for Vikio Wednesday videos each week. So let's get into this episode. I'm here today with my second guest.
Hello, I'm Joshua Olson. I am fourth year, so senior, at UH Mānoa, and that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it. So where are you from, Josh?
Oh, well, I say that I'm from, Oahu. I grew up over in Hawaii, but I was technically born in California. I lived there for 4 years of my life until moving out to Oahu because this is where my family's from. And after a while, it just ended up being easier to just move out to here rather than going to see them for every break. So yeah, just moved out to here. I grew up a while in the Chinatown area. So I went to school at Royal Elementary School before a while when we actually finally got to move out to the Hawaii area, which I grew up there for a middle school, high school, and that's where my parents live to this day. So yeah.
Awesome. Where in California were you born and lived before you moved over to Oahu?
Oh yeah, I was born in Santa Barbara.
Okay. But for the most part, you pretty much just grew up on Oahu?
Yeah, all my life except for those first 4 years, yeah.
Okay. So was going to UH kind of always the plan, or is that something that you sort of decided a little bit before coming to UH, or what was the story with that?
Yes, so I was really conflicted on what I was going to do after I got out of high school, because I was in the International Baccalaureate program over at Kaiser High School. A lot of my friends were planning to go over to California schools or other schools on the continental United States, and so I was kind of feeling pressure to do so as well. But then I asked around if I could just go to UH as well, because it's I was asking around because my main reason for this is because I traveled a lot internationally, and on those long international trips I actually do tend to get homesick quite easily, and I don't really think that would help me in an academic setting as well. If I had to go over to some California college and then I had to study there and also getting worried about being homesick and all that stuff. I also found that there was also quite a lot of my friends that were going to UH as well, and that made me feel a lot better about my choice to choose UH Mānoa. And also I heard that the sewing and film department here was the sewing and film department here was pretty good as well. So because I was interested in going into either or of those subjects, and I ended up choosing to go into the film department, which at the time it was called Academy of Creative Media, and recently just turned to the School of Cinematic Arts. Ever since then, I really don't regret my decision at all. I really enjoy going through the film program here.
That's awesome. Is the UH film program pretty good? Is it something, for example, I'm a journalism major, so when I was choosing where to go to school for journalism, and I looked online, and there was kind of a list of the top ranked journalism programs, and Hawaii at the time was ranked pretty high. I don't know if that's something that you did, or can you just tell me a little bit about the film program at UH? And you don't have to go super in depth. I just want to know a little bit about it.
I wasn't really too interested in any of that, to be honest. I just once I hit senior year, and I asked around and asked my parents like, is it okay for me to go to UH? And they said, yeah, go for it. That was that was my final decision right then and there, and I didn't really think about anything else other than that. Also, another thing about UH is because since I'm a local, it's just easier for like cost, like a cost efficiency, and I'm like right here, so I can just drive home sometimes. So and then so I didn't really look into like the programs too much because I just like assumed that like once I got here, everything was gonna be like up to standard, gonna be really good and really helpful for me in the future. And the film department here, I'll definitely say it has a lot of things that have prepped me for possibly working in the industry in the future. I've learned a lot from the school here that I don't think I would have ever learned, like even just looking on YouTube and stuff. I think that going through like those classes were worth it. But also, especially talking about future things for the future, I also picked up a minor in education, which has started to be increasing part about my future plans, which is just being an educator in the state of Hawaii. And yeah, so I started to pick up that program in my sophomore junior year, and I've really been enjoying going through all the classes and possibly being a future educator. So yeah,
That's awesome. That's really interesting. So your main goal as far as film, I know you obviously just said that you would like to educate students on like film and how to do all that stuff, but as far as like career, like what is your main goal right now, career wise? Like do you want to go out of college and kind of get a job in teaching film, or you want to like go into Hollywood maybe? What's your goal as far as film career afterwards?
oh yeah, like I am really apprehensive about going over to California or like or anywhere else to be a part of the industry. Yeah, I am pretty cautious on the idea, but I have started a job over a part-time job over at Kaiser High School where I graduated from. One of my teachers, who was the video production teacher, I asked her if I could teach or help her in any way for the film department, and she agreed. She really liked me being there. So ever since like the beginning of this school year, the 2023 school year, 2022 to 2023, I've been going over there and teaching students about things that I've learned from college, and I do think that that's one of the things that I can like do more for a little while after college. But I do have like some other ideas for like some little hobby things. It's not really like too big, but like hobby things that I can like film on the side, like small projects that that I have planned that I can like probably like post somewhere on the internet, or maybe even film festival stuff. But that's like some small things. So yeah.
So I'm from San Diego, so I'm pretty close to like LA and Hollywood and everything, which is kind of the epicenter of film in a way. But as far as Hawaii goes, I know there's a lot of movies that have been filmed in Hawaii and everything, but film culture, would you say that's big in Hawaii? Like, I don't know, like finding connections and everything, has that been somewhat difficult living in Hawaii, or is it easy, like because you're going on more of like the educational path? How does that look?
This is one thing that I am glad that I did take film studies in UH for, because a lot of my friends have done like a lot of projects where they had to work with like say actors that are actually certified, or have worked on a lot of other film sets that have come out to here, like big ones be like Magnum PI and Hawaii 50 and NCIS, those ones. And then those connections with my friends, and also like working on their film sets where I can talk to like the actors and like some other liaisons that like come over to help us on our film sets every now and then, are like pretty helpful for like setting up connections and stuff. The film department at UH is really good with giving or like letting us know about opportunities that happen when like when like there's like some sort of big film production going on, or going to happen, and they need like production assistants to help them on small things. So maybe even just doing that, you can get like a little credit in that. They had this one thing where we could have been an extra on one of the Magnum PI sets that was filmed here, and I actually did sign up for that, and I was like I played a small part as an extra for like 7 seconds in like one of the episodes that came out recently. And there's also some other things that the film department lets us know about, which is like when there's like lectures or other guest speakers that come over from Hollywood. They like come over and talk to us about certain things from like technical side of film industry, or like humanities aspects, like talking about like the growing interest in Oceania and the oceanic cultures. But luckily, this generation, it's been seen like more and more of a need, or like an interest in producing in Hawaii is starting to take place, to where more films are coming over here to film, and then a growing interest in hiring local actors, hiring local cast and crew, kind of thing. And even starting up things like the UH West Oahu film production building. I forgot what it was called, but they have like this huge, what is it? This huge complex over there for the film department over in UH West Oahu. So yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't realize. So I think that's really important that, I mean, if they're coming onto the islands, that they're hiring local people. I think that's kind of an uplifting thing to hear personally, but that's really cool to know. I'm going to take a few steps back and kind of get out of the road on film. I want to ask you, so you've pretty much grown up your whole life on Oahu, and, you know, being here the past almost year now, my senior year as well, I've kind of grown to know that Hawaii is very, like, close-knit as far as locals go. It's really, like, family-oriented in a way. I don't know if that's something you feel growing up here. If that's how you feel, and you feel it's family-oriented and, like, everyone kind of, you know, knows each other on the island, how's the culture growing up on Oahu kind of impacted who you are, and, you know, coming to UH, where there are a lot of different cultures kind of mixing and collaborating, and how has that affected the way you interact with people that are coming from the mainland or around the world? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh yes, yeah. I kind of do see that. So I said, like, the main reason why I moved out to here after being born in California was because the rest of my family was here. The rest of my family, large local family. As some may even say, just average size local family, pretty much, because our families and extended families do get pretty big out here. So yeah, that was like what my main motivator, or like my family's main motivator to like move out here, because I enjoyed doing that so much. And yeah, just like all like the parties and stuff that I get to go to for like my family and extended family. I like really enjoy that growing up. So yeah. And how do I feel? I mean, like, I guess
I guess let me narrow the question down about people coming to the island. So I guess what I mean is like I've been able to interact with a lot of native Hawaiians and locals over the past semester and a half, and I've kind of gathered this feeling where I didn't really know about, first off, the history of Hawaii as much as I should know, living in Hawaii. And also, I just feel very appreciative that I'm able to go to a school on this chain of islands that is very,
Diverse.
yeah, it's very diverse and like it's really special. Um, and being being a white guy coming from the mainland, I feel like it's really important for me to like understand the history of Hawaii and kind of understand that I'm coming into a lot of people's homeland and just I get to just live there for the amount of time I want to live. And so I feel like a responsibility to submerge myself into the culture, if that makes sense. So I guess what I'm asking is how has it been for you, a local, interacting with people that may or may not know about, Hawaii's history or whatnot, and sharing the culture of Hawaii with people from all over the world?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because like I didn't really notice it until I started to go to school here. But a lot of my friends are actually like either like from the islands or mixed in some way, like mixed Asian or just Asian in general, or some other um, American minority group, and I don't necessarily have like too many white friends. I guess like yeah, I started to only notice that back in like freshman and sophomore year how I like didn't really have like a large portion of my group was like white friends and stuff, and I guess as some of it can be like the growing up with like all the history about the overthrow and stuff like some local people are kind of like apprehensive to like really talk to or really get yeah, they're not really comfortable with like introducing themselves to white people or even letting white people into their groups maybe, and that's like when they like first meet them kind of thing. I definitely do understand that, and maybe there's like some part where like large groups of white people that come to Hawaii aren't really comfortable with talking to the locals either, and they're more comfortable with talking to their friends that they know from college or from high school or the hometowns they grew up with, which is not only some things with white people but also some things with other minority groups that come from California, say. Yeah, there was like a somewhat of a large disconnect between that. But as I grew older and like as I got like more connections like through college and stuff, I didn't really mind the race difference, to be honest. It just was something that that was a thing, to be honest. Yeah, that like I stopped thinking about because here in Hawaii it was our like diverse population is something that like we like really have to cherish and stuff. So because it's like something that we don't really see too much on the continent. Well, like our issues are being solved on the continent to this day. So what I'm personally this kind of gets into like my educator side, but I really appreciate or like I really enjoy talking a lot about history to people that don't know it, like even locals that don't really know the full story. I like enjoy like talking what I do know to them, and maybe they can teach me some things. And I do like talking to a lot of people that are from the continent about the true story about like about something that they don't really learn about in their high school textbooks and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something that like I don't think that I don't think needs to be hidden from people. It's something that we need more people to know, speak, so we have less of this, less um, or less misconceptions about Hawaii. So people have to like learn this stuff eventually. Yeah.
Sure, and I've spoken to some of my friends who are native Hawaiian recently, and I've learned that the education on the islands, as far as like Hawaiian history and stuff in history textbooks, is not that different from what we're learning on the mainland, which I think is kind of sad, because on the mainland, all I remember learning about Hawaii was like a very, very, very brief. We briefly talked about what had happened, and I couldn't tell you what we learned. And from what I've heard, that's kind of what you guys learn as well, which isn't a whole lot. And I mean, being on the mainland, I think we should be learning more, but being on the islands, if I'm correct about what I have heard, I think that should be a topic that you guys go over more. As far as like politics and stuff goes, mainland politics don't seem to be talked about as much in Hawaii. Is that the usual? Are you guys kind of separated from mainland politics as far as, I don't know, what in California I'm hearing about stuff that's going on in DC all of the time, and not that you guys aren't hearing about it, but are you kind of separated from that in Hawaii, or how does that all work and translate?
Oh yeah, I definitely hear you. Yeah, I this is something that has interested me in a while, because like, I guess like because we like live all the way out here, we have like that we have that geographical motivation to like not really care too much, because like that stuff that's going on across like an ocean away, but yet there's like still like some small things that eventually come to us and affect our way of life sometimes. But mainly, I guess like it's like our like long history of like say well like diversity and like I wouldn't say racial harmony, because there are a lot of professors that will like say like there has been a long history of racism in the islands, but for the most part we do have this history of like diverse communities coming together and helping each other out without really thinking about race too much. And also, when we do think about race, it like is like something to be like celebrated. Like when you have like certain cultures do like festivals, it's like something that like that like everyone seems to join in and have a fun time and help out with. Yeah. With like politics, due to like what happened, not only after the overthrow, but what happened like with like the democratic revolution back in 1954, Hawaii has been a blue state. Blue, if that changes, it's like a liberal state, not too conservative. Yeah, we don't see a lot of conservative influence here. I guess that was mainly due to like that revolution. I'm not gonna say it's due to like the racial stuff, because that might not really affect it. But like that revolution of 1954, which eventually led to Hawaii becoming a state of the union, and ever since then, it's just been so much easier to just run for a democratic slot for like the state politics or whatever, and people don't really think too much about that. It like really goes down to like more of like what their viewpoints are, I guess, versus like what party they're running for. I mean, like I guess like sometimes if there's like a Republican candidate that might set off some concerns for locals, I guess, some locals, but for the most part, parties aren't really a thing that locals here are too interested in. I've experienced when it comes to when it comes to local elections, parties aren't really a thing that people here are really interested in kind of thing, because I guess like is because it's a really really large democratic liberal party population that runs for seats here. Yeah, I think like just that geography difference and like the history with all the candidates running for the Democratic Party is like mainly um, the main things that kind of separate Hawaii from a lot of politics that happen on the continent. Yeah.
Yeah. I think personally, recently I've been more passionate about this, but, coming from the mainland prior to living here this year, I think something that many of us consider Hawaii over on the mainland is, it's just this tropical paradise and it's a vacation spot. When you come over, at least for me, I started to realize that this is like a lot of people's home, and it's not just this vacation spot for us to go, lay on the beach, and that's fine that people do, but I really think it's important that people start to incorporate learning just a little bit about Hawaii if they're gonna, be on the islands for however amount of time. Because as someone who did vacation in Hawaii prior to going to school there, I was mainly in Waikiki for most of that time, and I think there's just such a bubble there of tourists, and it's not really what Hawaii is. And I think there's this impression that is what Hawaii is, and I don't personally, from learning about different things, think that's really what Hawaii is. And it sounds like a lot of locals don't even like to go in that area. From other people I've talked to and some research I've done, it sounds like Waikiki in some ways is doing harm to Hawaii itself, economically, environmentally, in many ways. So as far as like keeping Hawaiian culture around with Western influence, obviously Western influence probably isn't going to go away anytime soon, but how do you, as a local, think that we can do a better job, everyone, Native Hawaiians, locals on Hawaii, people not living in Hawaii, how do you think we do a better job of keeping Hawaiian culture alive and strong, and kind of bringing back more of the voices of the Native Hawaiians and the locals from Hawaii with Western influence being there?
Oh yes, a lot of things went through my mind when you're talking about that. Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like Waikiki isn't really like the best spot for tourism. Like, if I were to say like Hawaii or maybe even Hawaii Island would be better, but yeah, then anywhere in Waikiki. But yeah, keeping culture alive. I think like a lot of the issues that we have in Hawaii come from yeah, just education pretty much. Like people educating themselves, or like people not getting good enough education. So like when they get out of like the school system, like high school, say, they like have like a lot of like misconceptions about things, where like that might that do pretty much affect them later on in life. A big thing like that kind of does affect Hawaii politics, in which why you don't really like see too many people from Hawaii talking too much about like issues on the continent, is like this idea of like suffering in silence, which has been like a large thing about the culture here, cause like I guess like they're like brought up with that, with like this long history of like that comes from the colonization, I guess, where like they feel like their opinions don't really matter too much because the continent just makes up all the decisions for them. See, like with the overthrow and stuff like that. So like people like kind of like just are like brought into that way of thinking, and they just like kind of just assume a lot of things about life, because I guess I kind of like told about that. And like yeah, as you were like saying like how the history isn't really like talked about too well in Hawaii schools now, which I definitely do see, because like a lot of things I learned in college were like really really surprising to me when I went to like Hawaiian studies classes here. So yeah, that improving not only like education in history, but also like education in like talking about like certain issues that we see here with modern day issues that not only affects groups such as Hawaiians and other groups that are kind of been pushed to the side, but like eventually end up affecting us all pretty much. Yeah, we kind of need to like get people to like get like start thinking about that a little bit earlier, so like they then like learn to like get people started thinking about it earlier, so when it comes to that in the future, they aren't like surprised by a lot of issues that they find, or get too comfortable with like the issues that they experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Learning about everything that has happened in the past to Hawaii and learning about how much pain has been brought upon, local Hawaiians and everything. I've personally gained a better appreciation for Hawaii as a whole, but that's just me as an individual. Obviously, everyone is not going to be like that, but I 100% agree with you. I think overall it comes down to education, and that we just need to educate people so that people are aware. I'm running out of time here. I'm a little past my time, actually, but I want to finish this off by asking you one question, and you can answer this question at any length you want. It could be super simple or long and extended, however you want. But the question is, who are you and what makes you unique as a person?
All right. I guess like other than being Joshua, I am just a person that is like really interested in like a lot of things that I might not be like I'm a person that likes to branch out and like experiments with a lot of things first before assuming things. I do kind of assume things a lot in my life, but I do like hear people out when like when they do make make good points and stuff, which has led me to like learning like a lot of things about like how the world works, and how and about myself as well, and that has like led me to I believe that has like led me to like be like a better educator, and like also like with like my hobbies my hobbies as well, like picking up from like the experiences from like what others face. Like I might be like at first that like this stuff they say might be questionable, but I just like kind of have to like hear them out for like a little bit, and like maybe pull like some things that I find interesting, or like can learn from that. I'm definitely like not not against that whatsoever, and I do believe that people probably should do that more. So I think that has definitely helped me through my life.
Awesome. Well, it's been so great having you on, Josh, and talking with you. I'm really glad I've been able to talk to you about everything, but more specifically the cultural stuff, because it seems like you have a lot of insight on the history and everything, and I appreciate that. But yeah, before we go, is there somewhere people can go to look, a YouTube or an Instagram page you have maybe for your film stuff that you want people to see? Or if not, that's okay too, but I just wanted to shout you out if you do have something.
Josh.ok808 on Instagram. There you can like find like things like my YouTube channel, which is just me doing like funny stuff with airsoftting. That's been my hobby recently, and I just post like some funny things from like funny clips from airsoft there, which is my YouTube account would be Joe Koa 808, spelled JOKOA 808. And on there, I do plan to release some film projects I have in the future. That that I want to be working on. So like after I finish with those fun projects, I'll like definitely post them on that account. But that'll be in the future. But until then, I'll just be like just doing funny moments on airsoft until then. And on my regular Instagram account, I don't really post too much stuff other than my stories. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Josh. I really appreciate your time, and this has been awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for sticking around for today's show. Tune in next Friday for the next episode. I'm Trevor Reed, and this is From the World to Mānoa.